what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Injustice versus... Ooh, I'm kind of losing my voice. Anyway, today's episode is on Batman and Superman, based on the announcement of the new Warner Brothers movie coming out in 2015. I wanted to say 2016, but I was thinking Justice League.
Wow, that is a long time from now.
Not really, because 2014 is...
Oh, just around the
2
corner.
years.
So it's like a year and a half.
Personally, just so you know, all my excitement for this movie has not waned, but I've just been so busy in New York City. I covered the Namco thing, and the first day I heard about the Batman-Superman thing, I could not stop talking about all my theories and whatever to Amber.
Yeah.
And
I was sitting there
even people in the
watching
restaurant
Yeah.
where I first learned about it on my phone.
Yeah, and as you were talking about that, I remember the new prince was born, or the new... Yeah, royal family member, and yeah, it was interesting. Everyone was looking at that, and Kwings sitting here on his phone like, oh, who cares about that? It's
Batman!
No, yeah. No offense to our UK people, because hey, there's a lot of UK actors in the Nolan movies.
That's right.
So there you go.
No
it's a UK thing there too.
Yeah, it's just, we find it funny that they have this whole thing already on the baby, 11 facts about the new baby. It's like, what does it do other than poop?
I have to say, I think that the Duchess, Kate, Prince William's wife, Kate, I don't know exactly what her title is. She's the Duchess of something, but she's gonna be like the new queen someday. I think she's so awesome. She's like trying to keep things private, and I think that's awesome. And I think like finally the royal family is gonna be like off her back about having a little baby. So
hopefully,
just like thank goodness, you go girl. You know, if you ever need some support, give me a call. Give K-Wife a call. I'll put the royal family in line, tell them to back off, because you're just as important.
like that's...
Yeah,
that's
I'll be like, oh, yeah, you're the royal family, I'm K-Wife, so back off. Okay, now I've totally offended everyone in the UK, sorry.
Yeah, totally.
Alright, go ahead.
So, anyway,
oh, man. I'm so bad.
With all the rumors spinning, how the announcement happened was Zack Snyder was officially greenlighting Man of Steel 2, and they brought a actor on who was in the Man of Steel. I forget what his role was. I think it was something in the Army. And he read a passage from The Dark Knight Returns. And only the nerds really got it at first, because it was a passage where Batman has his hand on Superman's throat after he's beaten him to a pulp. And he basically tells Clark that he wants him to remember the man who beat him, who brought him to his knees, and things like that. So the way that they were talking about this movie, it sounded like Batman is going to be kind of like the villain. Like it's going to be, a role that he hasn't had before. Now, I'm thinking that it's going to be similar to the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini World's Finest episode that was also helped pen by Dwayne McDuffie.
It's the hero they need, not that they deserve.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Because Batman works perfectly as a villain because he's a very paranoid character, and after the destruction that happened to Metropolis, I'm sure that he's probably trying to protect the rest of the world. And Lex Luthor, I'm sure, will also be announced in this very soon, and Batman and Superman are going to have to get together to stop Lex, because Lex is going to turn out to be evil, even though on the surface he's going to be good.
Right.
At least to everybody but Batman and
both
Superman.
Lex and Bruce Wayne had been hinted at in the
Yes, they were. The Wayne Enterprises and the LexCorp thing. Yep. So they're both in this universe. And I also think that Batman is going to use kryptonite against Superman, which hasn't been seen in the Man of Steel universe yet. Batman will find out Superman's weakness, exploit it, and maybe, who knows. But I really think these heroes are going to come to blows.
Yeah.
And then near the end of the movie, they'll work together similar to the animated movie that came out back in 1997 or 8, I believe it was.
And it is from the comics had a
World's Finest comic book. Well, Batman and Superman go together like peanut butter and jelly. In just, they're the most famous superheroes in existence. Even Spider-Man doesn't have the type of popularity that Batman and Superman share worldwide. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. Batman and Superman share worldwide. Say it 5 times fast. Go. So these characters are so iconic that putting them in a movie together is something that people
It's
have
like
waited.
nobody knew.
No.
No one would have ever guessed. Wasn't there a movie recently that said like at the end of the world, they showed the end of the world and there was a Batman Superman
I Am
movie?
Legend, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like no one would ever think, because no one ever thought that would ever happen. Everyone's been
Exactly.
wanting it for so long, and it's just like, oh, well, it's never really gonna happen, because how could you ever get it to happen?
How could you ever? It would be
The
like,
two tremendous actors and you know, the storylines, and it'd be impossible. You know. But it's happening.
it is
We're so-
happening.
And we saw someone had it on their cell phone recording, you know,
Yep,
when it
they
was
recorded.
announced. and
I don't like the logo though.
they
I will say that.
superimposed the logo on there.
I don't
the
like the
Superman
Batman logo.
logo on the
I
Batwings.
prefer the Batman logo right there. That's pretty cool.
But yeah.
I definitely like how they are going to do stuff, but I also feel bad for the Superman fans. The ones that are very vocal right now are saying how they're not happy because Superman's character hasn't really been shaped yet. And
He just started.
Exactly. He just started. He had
just
his
kinda
origin
became
movie.
Superman.
He just became Superman,
He
and all of a
just
sudden.
became his alternate identity as Superman as well.
But-
Spoiler. Sorry.
And
but
I think maybe Warner Brothers is rushing this a little bit, but they've already achieved what they were trying to do. Josh Whedon got on stage to announce the title of the Avengers 2 movie, and all the hype from Comic-Con was about Batman Superman.
Right.
And they didn't even do anything other than announce it's happening.
Right.
And Josh Whedon
Oh,
was
I know,
there
I know.
with the new name of the
It was just
Avengers
very
movie.
small, like
Yep.
short little thing. But I hope that Superman would have another movie just to himself after this. Like, I hope he can have his time in the sun. That's
Well,
not-
what they should do is they have the Batman Superman movie, and then both Batman and Superman get their own independent movies
Right,
around the
right,
same
right,
time
right.
as the Flash.
Exactly.
And then they need to do a new Green
They
Lantern
need
movie.
to have you on the board of this, son.
No, I don't see. They couldn't
My-
afford me. No.
Yeah. But what you were telling me, yeah. But yeah, they couldn't. Well, I couldn't afford to lose you. That's fine. I couldn't. I need you around. Okay. But what you were telling me before was
Why? I can't cook.
you think that some of the destruction of Metropolis and stuff like that is kind of gonna get Batman to come over and check it out and see kind of Superman as an enemy, and then
Oh, yeah.
Superman will see him as an enemy because he's crazy and he's in a bat
Go
costume.
after the
and
gods among us. Yep.
Anyone in a bat costume clearly has issues, but yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He sees Superman as an unchecked god among us, as you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for stealing my my
Sorry.
thing there, babe.
Stole your
Yeah.
thunder.
Stole my
Little reference.
reference. Oh,
But,
Superman's rolling
yeah,
around.
and I guess Batman does that a lot
Oh!
in the comics. He sees them as.
Well, he's
he always has
paranoid.
to have backup
He
plans.
he always
For
has to have
these
contingency
crazy
plans.
people and all their powers, and it
Well,
makes sense.
they need to be checked. And Batman,
Definitely.
even Green Arrow is kind of like, you know, these people in the Justice League, they have like this
Yeah.
orbital death station with this
Right,
laser
right,
that can
right,
like
right.
take out. And it did. It destroyed Cadmus. It helped defeat the Thanagarians and stuff. So I mean, the Justice League has too much power, and Batman, even in some Justice League stories, he takes them out of action because he can't trust them. Even though
Right.
they're his best friends, he knows they have too much power. Mind control, anything could cause the Justice League to go rogue. So from Batman's point of view, as long as this isn't a reboot of his character completely, I don't want an origin story whatsoever for this. Batman does not need an origin story.
Right,
he did
right.
not need it
He just needs to come in there
the
and do his
original
thing.
Keaton films. There was no origin. There was really no flashback whatsoever of his parents
Right.
being killed.
Right.
They had like newspaper clippings, and Vicky Vale found out about his parents. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, going through and doing this whole
Definitely.
thing and showing the parents. Well, I mean, the parents did get killed at the beginning of the movie. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. No, that was a different couple who was going to be killed.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Right. But yeah, you just kind of go into it. Just like I loved well, this is totally off topic, but I loved some of the old movies. Like one that made Star Wars great was you just are on the ship and you're just seeing all this action happen and there's no explanation and you're sucked into the movie. I mean, there shouldn't be so much explanation, you know. And we've already had Batman Begins and
Exactly. Batman Begins
The
is
Dark
not
Knight
that old.
Rises.
They just released the Batman trilogy. I believe it's on Blu-ray, so it's
Yeah.
not like it would be
I'm jumping around.
graphically too different from what we've seen from some of the Aliens versus the World superhero movies.
Yeah.
You know, where there's all this destruction and stuff.
But,
Visually, it's not all that different. So going now and doing a complete reboot and pulling an amazing Spider-Man is a bad idea, because Batman is a
Right.
character that you really
Yeah.
can just jump into if
Definitely.
you have good writers.
You don't want to follow Spider-Man,
No,
that's for sure.
don't follow Spider-Man.
Wasn't that bad of a movie? But seriously, it was too soon. After the old Spider-Man movies. Come on.
You didn't need to. You could have just replaced the actor or started like a new universe, and you didn't need to do another origin story. Just like you don't need to do another origin story.
Exactly. You should have continued it. Exactly. So we already did an origin story for Batman. Continue it. Don't pull a Spider-Man. But I'll be curious to see the way that Superman sees Batman. You know, I guess he would see him as a vigilante, and he's out of control.
You know, Superman's a vigilante.
And exactly, and that's kind of
Superman
how Batman
is so double-sided.
Batman sees other people as vigilantes too. He doesn't like anyone to be a vigilante except for himself.
Nobody can be a vigilante but me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like he can handle it. He can handle the pressure of vigilante, but no one else.
Yeah, nobody else.
Everyone else can become corrupted and all this stuff.
Exactly. But as a symbol, he's incorruptible and a legend. Yeah.
But hopefully, it will not take place in Gotham because you know.
Yeah,
you
I don't want Gotham to end up like Metropolis.
There you go.
Welcome to Gotham. Where'd it
wait,
go?
It was Gotham.
This used to be Gotham City. Alrighty, so I'm sure you've seen all the forums and the blog sites, and everybody's talking about who is going to play the new Batman. Because Warner Brothers even said a new guy is playing Batman, and Christian Bale said that he is retired.
No!
He is passing the torch.
I'm done playing now.
No.
I can't go on with this discussion. No, I already know that. I said when I first heard about it, I was like, if Christian Bale doesn't play Batman, I'm not watching it. And then I heard that he's not that. He
he's not
declined.
He's not that old, but
he could totally do it. He could totally still do it. He's pretty young still.
There was a lot of tragedy that was involved during his role that happened, and that mentally takes a lot out of an actor.
I have to say, I really love Christian Bale's Batman. He's one of the best Batmans I've ever seen.
Him, Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy, they have all been the embodiment of Batman, heart and soul, because they're good people. Yeah. They care about, and
it comes through in their acting.
Exactly.
And then also, when you see them on screen, you feel better when you see someone on screen that you can trust, that you know they're not just pretending, like they really care, like they actually feel the same way about helping people and doing the right thing as what they're portraying on screen.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's part of the reason. I mean, at the beginning, I thought, Christian Bale was not this. Not my favorite movie Batman. I mean, he sounded like he had throat cancer.
as many people
for the last
say,
two Batman movies.
Yeah, as many people say, Christian Bale cannot do it anymore because he's going to be sucking on throat lozenges for about like 50 years.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
Throat lozenges. He lost his voice. He will never be an actor again.
He's in voice rehab. So.
Superman. Yeah.
But he did a pretty good compromise at the very end. He kind of got the voice right a little bit.
Yeah, in Dark Knight Rises, he didn't quite sound he was.
I know. That would have been nice to see. If I could see Christian Bale again, he would have to make his voice a little bit better. But it's
Go back to how it was in Batman Begins. But anyway, like we said, Christian Bale, he's retired. He even said, I'm retired, I'm passing the torch. And he kind of joked around and he says, I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be Batman.
Yeah.
Because
he said, how
he inherited the cave, chuckle, chuckle.
Exactly.
So, the fact that he has this lighthearted approach to it, and he's kind of like, I'm done, and I'm excited to see what happens to the character next. That's pretty cool. Unlike Hugh Jackman, who's been playing Wolverine since 1999.
Yeah.
So
Come on, Hugh.
Yeah. Come on, Hugh. But no, he's an awesome Wolverine. I can't see anybody else be Wolvie at the moment. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think he would make a pretty interesting Batman. I really like him. He's a really down-to-earth actor. He loves his fans.
He has a YouTube channel.
Yep, he has a YouTube channel. I believe it's Are We Recording or some type of It's recording, or I don't know.
He puts his heart and soul into things, and he actually, he cares about certain, issues, and he's very, he just, he cares about doing the right thing, and you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, and audiences are already expecting him to be Batman from now on, just like people are expecting Shia LaBeouf to be the next Indiana Jones.
Right.
Although, let's just clear the air. That was not a passing of the torch movie, because Harrison Ford picked up the hat at the end of the movie.
He
was
did
like,
not pass it.
Nope.
He said not yet, and who knows? Harrison Ford might be able to do another one.
Yeah,
but what I was trying to say is, Yeah, Gordon-Levitt, he's a nice guy, and you could see in the movie that he was, helping kids out, and he wanted to do the right thing when he was in the movie, and his character was so likable, and, the fact that, they named him possibly Robin at the end, in a weird way. It's like he's already kind of been inducted into the Bat family.
Exactly.
Then. So then, he's got to be. I mean, he'd be a great Batman then. And the fact that Christian Bale mentioned him as his successor, I mean...
There you go. So, I mean...
He's definitely a tremendous, candidate.
Well, he's a 3-to-1 candidate. Like, right now is what people are saying.
Oh, okay.
The other people I'm going to be talking about, though, are completely out there that no one has mentioned. And they...
That's what I like. I want to hear
this.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, we've talked about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Can't
why
wait for Batman.
He would make a cool... Batman, but another character who's actually a WB actor and Warner Brothers loves to death is Zachary Levi.
Yay!
Whom all of you know as Chuck.
I thought you were gonna save the best for last, but
no.
But that's somebody we were talking about, and when I first thought of him,
when we were putting this list together, yeah.
When I first thought of him, I thought, well, it would be so cool if Zachary Levi could, but he could never do that because he's not the Batman type. He doesn't look like Batman. Blah 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 blah. But then I thought about Michael Keaton. And when he played Bruce Wayne, you could not pick a Bruce Wayne out of a room. You don't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky Vale asked, who, she couldn't tell who Bruce Wayne is. She's looking for him, and he's like, oh, that's me, And it's
Are
just
you sure? Are you sure you're Bruce Wayne? I'm pretty positive him.
Yeah. And that's the kind of person that Zachary Levi is.
Why am I being hit over this?
And that's the character he played in Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Is like the person, the diamond in the rough, the person you would never expect. And
because you have this nerdy guy, and
that's the whole point of a secret identity, is to be somebody you would never expect. Any big, buff, bulky guy, walking around, lifting all these weights and stuff, you might think like, wow, I wonder if they're Batman in secret. But Zachary Levi, you would never expect.
Yeah, if you get one of these real bulky actors like Tom Hardy or something, who already played Bane, by the way, so I mean... I suppose he could be in the same argument as Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but he had the thing passed to him. He has the Batcave, okay? He has the suit. He has everything. So it could work. But going to Zach has the intersect, so he knows all this martial arts and everything to begin with.
And he has it in real life, not just in. It's not just in.
Yeah. As an actor,
real,
we've seen him have so many different. Roles that were in Chuck, from comedic to dramatic to action, so he would work really well as Batman. I really believe that, and because of his massive following and the Chuck fanatics all over the world, and even Chuck season 5 hasn't aired in every country in the world yet, where it's in syndication. So
he has rabid fans.
Yeah, and
they're waiting and poised, like in an army, waiting for him to do his next thing.
Exactly, and I mean the guy's even talked to me on Twitter before, so I'm a huge fan of Chuck.
Well, he talked.
He did.
Well, it's K-Wing, yeah. Of course he's gonna talk to you.
He doesn't.
I know he doesn't know who you are.
But I know who he is.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it.
No.
But yeah, I mean, he's already played this kind of role in Chuck, where he works at the Bime where you would never expect.
Never expect him to be a secret agent.
He is a secret agent, and he learned, the way that he kind of morphed into the secret agent character, who started out kind of like lanky and didn't know what he was doing, but then he ended up becoming coming into his own and really taking it on, being an awesome agent and really taking charge. And getting the girl of his dreams, that's... And
then when he lost his powers, he was still a very confident and very good character.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is somebody I think K-Wing and I are, really rabidly excited...
Yes. Zachary Levi needs to be
hoping
Batman.
WB can hear this and, take that... Because he already works for WB.
There you go. See, he already works for it. Massive following, and he could be Batman. Okay, so I know a lot of you are like, why didn't they say Jake Gyllenhaal or Ryan Gosling or some of those other people? Tom Cruise!
No! Those are on our no list already. We have a no list.
Along with Channing Tatum, I believe.
Yeah, well, actually, Duke. I could see him as Batman, except for he's on my no list because he was in a really... He played a stripper in a movie.
He played a stripper, so disqualified. We don't need to talk about him.
He's on my no list
because
of that. Ryan Reynolds is almost on my no list, but I'm keeping him on. He's on probation.
He's on probation, yeah.
But Channing Tatum or
whatever his name is.
He looks exactly like Batman. He could do a fantastic job, but I do not want kids searching for Batman and then find his movie. So
all right, Yeah.
Sorry.
He's disqualified. But anyway, why Zachary Levi? Because I'm sure some of you are really confused by that. What we mean by that is we're going by what happened in the 80s with Michael Keaton, who revitalized Batman and made him modern. Like, he was a guy you were not expecting to be Batman.
Yeah,
We already said nobody
be.
thought he could be Bruce Wayne, but then when he put on the cape and cowl and he had not the same voice as Batman, which we're actually seeing people go back to when they're playing Batman, Bruce Wayne and Batman sound the same. Case in point, Brave and the Bold.
Right.
Brave and the Bold and Beware the Batman. They did not have a distinct Batman and Bruce Wayne voice. Right. They both sound exactly the same.
The Bruce Wayne voice is the mask.
Exactly.
The nice, happy persona is the mask.
And Beware the Batman, which is that new Cartoon Network show, he sounds exactly like himself as Bruce Wayne. So there's no distinction between the characters.
Yeah,
Zachary Levi and Michael Keaton, could give character distinction. In fact, Michael Keaton was the one who came up with the raspy Batman voice, and then Kevin Conroy took it a step further.
Yeah, well, Michael Keaton pretty much made the live-action Batman what it is. It made, before him, Batman didn't even make as much money.
Batman was a joke. Yeah.
And he is the one who made Batman kind of make tons of money, and now Batman is always the thing that makes
Batman makes about $2 billion a year.
Thank you, Michael Keaton, because before him it was not making money, and that franchise. And
that's not counting.
Brand.
That is not counting merchandising
but
either.
But he was the one that nobody thought could do it because he did comedy roles.
Exactly.
And so I think. The old has kind of been done, the big brooding, whatever. And I think, kind of revamping the role with a person kind of like the old Michael Keaton, which is, Zachary Levi, would be an unexpected thing that no one would expect.
Because he could, when he puts on the suit, he could be a very dark, even kind of...
There's a lot more to Zachary Levi than you think.
Michael Keaton looked like this nice guy, but he was the Batman that killed people.
Right,
with a smile.
Right.
He did.
Right, so I just think, think of Michael Keaton, and Zachary Levi could definitely be Batman like that. Exactly. I'm not saying, they're the same person, but I'm saying, Michael Keaton was awesome, and he was unexpected, and I think people really need to take Zachary Levi seriously. He already works for WB, he's had training in martial arts. And he's loved so much, and he already has played a hero, and he would be if
he's played a very modern hero.
If he became Batman, Cameron would just eat his hat. Like we would just be like,
Chuck is back.
It would just be the most amazing thing ever.
And think of all the like fan movies on YouTube, like tributing his time as Batman.
And he wouldn't ask for tons of money. He wouldn't he's a down to earth guy, just like Christian Bale is.
Yep. So he would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Another character that another actor that we are considering for the role, which people are kind of talking about because he was actually picked to play Batman, is Armie Hammer. Who is currently the Lone Ranger. And he was supposed to play Batman in Justice League Mortal, which was actually kind of before the whole idea of Batman dual-wielding guns, which we saw in Flashpoint with Thomas Wayne, which actually, that movie's out right now, but I don't recommend kids see it because it is very, very violent, like graphic violent. I can't review it because it's like
it's an animated movie.
It's an animated movie, and it is almost exactly like the comic. It is so graphic.
Yeah, you were even telling me that Armie Hammer was kind of thinking like, wow.
Yeah,
this
why
is weird.
why would Batman use guns? Because he's actually a fan of Batman.
Exactly.
And he was like, he says, I understand the character and stuff like that, but they're like, oh, this is a new take, and he's like,
you can't go wrong with a fan.
So when the movie got canceled, he got picked up to do, of course, the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the reviews and critics have not been kind to that.
They didn't see the same movie that I saw.
They're saying
they didn't see the same movie.
They're saying terrible things about Armie's acting, but it wasn't the movie. He was playing second fiddle to Johnny Depp.
Well, he was supposed to. That was the whole point of the movie. It was the beginning of the Lone Ranger. People just didn't understand. The movie was perfect, like it was. They just didn't understand. I loved the movie. I went to the movie. Everyone should see the movie. It was fantastic. It was fantastic,
baby. Dance,
Unless you're like if you're under 8 years old, there's like mild violence, but
mild.
It really wasn't that violent.
Like
but I loved it. And they had the thing is, they wait till
Come
towards
back
the
here.
end of the movie.
Why are you walking
You know,
away?
Towards the end of the movie is when he really becomes the Lone Ranger, because Tonto is training him towards the beginning, and then, you know, so Tonto is kind of, you know, more major, you know more about him, and you don't know too much about the Lone Ranger because he hasn't become the Lone Ranger yet. So obviously you wouldn't know very much about him, and towards the end he is coming into his own, and he becomes the Lone Ranger, and he's, you know, he doesn't like guns in that movie either, but he has to use them because
Hold
evil,
still.
you know, all it takes for
Boom,
evil men to prosper is for good men to do nothing.
Yeah, I know.
So at the end, and he, you know, they even try to get him to turn in his mask at the end. It's like,
No.
But I really thought that Lone Ranger movie was an origins story, because he only becomes Lone Ranger at the very end, and so I really, you know, supposedly they're gonna do more, but it would be a blessing in disguise if they don't do more, because then he might be freed up to do Batman.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be very hard
Sorry,
as
I
it
talked
is
too long
to get
about that
him to
movie.
be Batman anyway, because not DC. Disney owns
Disney
Marvel
owns
now.
Marvel.
And DC are
And
like,
they're rivals. Except
so
for with the Marvel Lego movie.
yeah, Lego Marvel the video game being done by
yeah.
Warner Brothers. End of the world. That's very, very confusing.
Yeah, so I mean, I was thinking, what if he was the Lone Ranger and Batman at the same time? But I know that couldn't happen, because I'm sure there'd be a conflict of interest. Even though Han Solo, or
Han Solo, Indiana Jones was done by Harrison Ford,
Harrison
but again,
Ford at the same time,
it was done by LucasArts. It's the
right,
same
the
company,
same person.
20th
They're
Century
the same
Fox.
company. Yeah, so it's not quite the same thing. But I would really like to see Armie Hammer, because I think he did a fantastic job. You know, he was a kind of a Padawan to Johnny Depp in that. You know, trained by Johnny Depp.
According to stuff like, you know, from like WBID or whatever, and Warner Brothers and things like that, the top people in the running for Batman right now is Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Armie Hammer.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Armie Hammer, I really liked him because I've actually seen a making of the Lone Ranger movie, and man, everyone was saying how nice a guy he was. He enjoyed being in the sweltering heat and crazy, you know, icy wind.
And he does his own stunts.
He did his own stunts, many of them. He didn't have a problem doing that. And he even did stunts that they were uncomfortable with him doing. He was like, oh, I can do this. And he's almost over-optimistic about things. Like, everyone was like, man, he's kind of unreal, the way he's just like, oh, this is so fun, even though it was like, he's
laughing as he stared
so
death in the face.
I think something you were saying to me before was that he's almost like a, that guy, Batman's son, Dick Grayson type of
he's a Dick Grayson
personality.
type of
He has a personality of Dick Grayson in real life.
Amber and I always have these heated
IRL.
Discussions before we even do the Injustice series.
So Armie Hammer, he's kind of he's already played a hero. Sorry, I'm doing it. What are you doing?
You were standing still.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to think of what to do. I was staring at the screen. No, I wasn't. I was standing still because you grabbed my controller.
You can't prove that.
So anyway, he's already played a hero, and he did a great job being a hero, and I think Armie Hammer would be fantastic.
I agree. I would say
I'd
that
like to see more of him, especially
Armie Hammer is one of my picks.
Especially if his series doesn't do well with the Lone Ranger, which it should, but if it doesn't, you know,
then he should have
he
a
needs
shot
to be Batman.
as Batman. You ripped off one of my ears.
Major shot.
Now I'm only one ear Batman. Why is he smiling? Alrighty, so the next actor that a lot of people actually aren't talking about online, which is very surprising because this guy has ties to Christopher Nolan. He actually auditioned to be Batman, if my memory serves correctly.
And I think someone said they might have thought about casting him or something at one point.
As Batman.
And
that's Aaron Eckhart, who played Two-Face, kind of in a cameo of The Dark Knight.
And he was a fantastic, Two-Face. And oh
very
my gosh, I just
short-lived.
forgot Two-Face's other reality. Oh my gosh.
Other reality?
What's his other name?
Harvey Dent?
Oh my gosh.
You don't believe in Harvey Dent?
Well,
Why don't you believe in Harvey Dent?
There is no Harvey Dent, only Two-Face.
There is no,
Yeah, exactly. But he did such a great job, and he hasn't gotten to kind of have his time in the sun because it was cut short.
Exactly.
He was supposed to play Harvey Dent for several
Harvey
more
Dent.
movies.
Harvey Dent. Harvey
And
Dent.
we don't. We're both so tired.
Blah-blah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ow.
You know,
Juggling.
New York will do that to you.
New York will do that. New York, New York, it's a wonderful town.
He was supposed to play Harvey
have to
Dent,
walk
and
a
then there
lot
was all this
over town.
tragedy with the movie, and he wasn't able to. And I don't know. I really liked him as Harvey Dent, and not so much as Two-Face. I mean, no, he did a fantastic job as Two-Face, but I love him as a hero, and so I really want to see him as Batman.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I mean,
he has that Bruce Wayne kind of face.
How they did Two-Face how they did Dent in the Nolan universe is he was kind of like a Batman character. Like he was like the opposite of Batman, or at least that's how Batman thought him, and that's how he was portrayed. So Aaron Eckhart going and actually becoming that wouldn't be that too difficult for him, like as an actor. Exactly. So I would love to see that actually, because even Christopher Nolan said he would love to work with Eckhart again, but they killed off Two-Face because of what happened with the incident with Heath Ledger. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were going to kill off Harvey Dent anyway in the third movie. But he was
at least going to get another movie.
Because they were filming both movies at the same time, The Dark Knight and the third Batman movie.
He really did want to play the part of Batman at some point.
Yes,
and he wanted to do more with Harvey Dent.
He did.
And it was too bad that his role got cut off and Harvey Dent just kind of disappeared and nothing else was said about
Well, they
him.
had to find a way to tie up the story, and they made the second movie so long because Heath Ledger died.
Right.
Joker was supposed to be a huge part of the third movie, and there was going to be this whole catalyst with what happened with Two-Face. It was supposed to end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, probably Harvey Dent would have died in the third movie still, but there would have been more character development with why he's so crazy.
Right. So I think... I think Aaron Eckhart
were going to do like more of a Killing Joke thing with the third movie.
Right.
Like the whole thing centering around Harvey Dent having a bad day. But it doesn't look like that. It looks like, his face gets all messed up and he just decides to go and do this, like, with no character progression.
Right.
So to have him go and play Batman would make a lot of people happy, and also he is a great actor, and Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale both like him.
Yeah, you had to admit, when you saw him play Harvey Dent in that movie, when he was on screen, like everyone's eyes would go right to him. It almost felt like Bruce Wayne was almost being jealous of him all the time because he was so, he had it so in control as Harvey Dent, you know what I mean? And he portrayed that as an actor. He did a terrific job, and I think he would have a really good presence as Batman.
Stop jumping around and fight me.
I like him in everything he's done. I really hope that they would give him a chance because, he needs his shot. Give Harvey Dent, give Aaron Eckhart a shot. Let him read the script at least. Give him a shot.
Let him read the script.
What have you got to lose? So these are the people we want to read the scripts. Did we already talk about everybody? We talked about Gorden, Levitt,
Armie.
Definitely Armie Hammer, Zachary, Levi, and Aaron Eckhart. I mean, those are the people we really, not Tom Cruise, not Ryan Gosling. Oh my gosh, that would be my number
Is it
one.
good percentage still?
No. If it's Ryan Gosling, I cannot see it. It's just, the creepy eyes. He would be like Val Kilmer.
Well, he was disqualified when he did The Notebook. So.
Oh, exactly. You just cannot have a Sap City movie that you do. Once you do a movie that sappy, you're just disqualified. It's worse than
disqualified.
It's worse than having a stripper movie. I mean, it's just so sappy. You're done.
You obviously hate stripper movies. Either that or you don't like male strippers.
No. I don't want a little kid looking for Batman and being like, oh, look what Batman did when he was, younger.
I'm gonna grow up and do this too.
No, you don't. You have to. I'm sorry. If you wanted to be Batman, you should have thought about that before and not done that movie. You know what I mean? Think about this in the future, kids. Yeah.
In the future.
Or, yeah.
Superman wins.
No Tom Cruise. I already said that.
Well, Tom Cruise is kind of too busy jumping on couches, screaming. He's so happy.
He's so old. Yeah.
He's so old and tiny. He's like, why wasn't he in The Hobbit?
No.
Okay, I know a lot of you aren't going to agree with this next actor, but hear me out, okay? He has played superheroes in the past, and he's a great actor. And I personally think, I'm not putting like my job on the line for this guy or anything, but I think Ryan Reynolds would be a good Batman to match Henry Cavill, yeah. His presence on film, and he can also play psycho characters.
Yeah.
he has like this part of his in his acting where he does this different thing where he'll switch in an instant from nice
Yeah.
guy to kind of like either super crazy
And he's
or
kind of fun, you know.
Yeah.
It'd make the role fun.
there hasn't been really a fun
You know,
Batman.
He's on probation with me because he's done some bad movies, like
Green
you know-
Lantern.
No, I don't mean. Well, I not mean bad. That was okay. I didn't mind that. I mean like movies.
What is
that-
wrong with you,
I
woman?
mean above PG-13 movies. That's what I mean.
Wow, we're like gonna
So-
discredit everyone on this list then.
No, I'm just saying he's on
Disqualified.
probation for me still.
Okay.
He's okay. He hasn't
He's
done
okay.
He has not done a Magic Mike movie.
I
yet, so it's
thought
okay.
I thought he was
He's okay, but he is I agree. I think Ryan Reynolds would make it fun. He didn't get a good enough, chance in the script of the stupid Green Lantern movie, which ended up
Green
with a
Lantern
cloud
movie.
following everyone.
Beware
and,
the clouds.
And it was just horrible, like scripting. It was just awful.
Yeah.
Like you're building to the climax of this movie. In the end, it's like, oh no, it's a storm cloud. At the end, it's just like.
It's a storm cloud.
Run
Bum,
away!
bum, bum.
There's a rainstorm. Oh, that's it. It rained. It's over.
Ow.
It's just odd. He didn't get it. They didn't give him a good enough script, and he needs better chance. I actually enjoyed the Green Lantern movie.
To some extent, it
to
was
some extent,
good.
I enjoyed his acting in it.
I think if
So-
he's going to continue with the role of Green Lantern, then they need to do a Green Lantern Corps movie and introduce other Green Lanterns like Jon
Yes,
Stewart,
that would
Kyle
be
Rayner, and
amazing.
things like that. But
Yeah.
if they are done with Green Lantern and Ryan Reynolds is, out of his contract for doing that, then I strongly suggest
Give him a shot.
doing Batman.
Yeah. If he can get a good script, this guy can be a great actor. Mm-hmm. And we enjoy his movies.
Because I think that he could, like, his Bruce Wayne, I think, would be very comedic.
Yeah.
And I think that he could really play that dark Batman that they need for
Yeah.
going as Superman's villain.
And he has a great way of being the kind of person who can, have it all, money and whatever like that. And he's played roles where he has it all, but he's still down to earth, and he still is, like the Just Friends movie. It's just like he still, has his own
I'm a very good
personality
Batman,
inside.
little girl.
Yeah. you can feel for him. He makes you feel for him.
He has a lot of stage
you
presence.
know, and so
Like, you can't keep your eyes off him when he's on the screen.
it makes you really he can make you really relate to his characters very well. And I think he has the look of a Bruce Wayne as well. His muscles.
Muscles. Ha ha ha.
So yeah, I agree. I think he would be a good choice.
Thank you. I like my choice.
I still have to say Zachary Levi, but yeah.
Yeah, Zachary
Or
Levi.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph
Or
Gordon-Levitt. Those guys are like... I'm really
the Lone
surprised
Ranger guy.
nobody talked about Zach. But Ryan Reynolds, I mean, it's not fair that because Green Lantern was not very successful and all these people are making fun of it, the worst comic book movie of all time, folks, is Batman and Robin with George Clooney.
Oh my god.
That is the worst comic book film of all time. I would even
Yes.
say Masters of the Universe is a step up compared to the Batman and Robin
Yeah.
movie from 1997. And
That
that
was
He-Man
horrible.
movie was horrible. Okay? It was like Star Wars
Oh,
meets...
I
you're very lucky.
Oh.
Star Wars meets all this other, like, poorly done Star Wars and stuff meets
Yeah.
He-Man and He-Man characters. It was horrible,
I'm
but
having
Dolph
a-
Lundgren was pretty cool as He-Man. At least he looked the part, kind of. Except he had a blaster.
I was gonna say I'm having a random thought where after this Batman movie, people have got to make a new He-Man and a new.
Oh, they are
Flash-
making a new He-Man.
New Flash Gordon too.
They're not doing a new Flash
Aw,
Gordon, but
man.
the new He-Man movie is being done by the guy who
But
did G.I. Joe.
I could
think.
definitely see Ryan Reynolds as Batman,
Yeah.
and I think that exactly people probably can't see him because they're not understanding. But don't give him a shot. I think you'd be
They're like,
very
if
surprised.
in this town, it's like if you do a movie like Daredevil, like you're done. So Green
Yeah.
Lantern and Daredevil
Yeah.
have been retired.
Even though Ben Affleck is a good actor, it's just well, in some things. He's good. He's definitely better than. I cannot believe some people wanted Brad Pitt for Batman. Like,
Ooh.
I can't. Brad Pitt is like a
Old
like,
Pitt?
He's like a puppet that like just has this face and he doesn't really
My name's
act at
Brad Pitt,
all.
I'm a puppet.
He's one of the worst actors ever. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
What?
Burn. Alrighty, so we're going to end our little segment because even though, it would be awesome to have a American Batman again and see a
to remind ourselves that we can still act, or
Yes,
some of us,
yes.
very few of us can.
Because apparently Henry Cavill is another
a British-
amazing British
I didn't
actor
realize
playing an American.
I just heard his accent right before we did this, and I was like, oh my gosh, he has a British accent, and it's dreamy.
So, you guys over in the UK know how to make our superheroes better than we do.
Yeah,
But,
you make American superheroes look good.
So here's a thought. I know Christopher Nolan probably has somebody planned out to be Batman, and it's going to be some unknown British like superstar. But if they're going to pick some really cool British actors, I would have to say my pick would be the guy who played the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who.
Yay!
He was my favorite Doctor since the 80s Doctor. I think he would be great because
he
has a lighthearted approach, and then he has a very dark side to his personality.
Yeah, he embodied that. It made me believe he really was like a Time Lord. Like it made me feel like, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
like,
this guy's freaky.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. But I'm guessing, Christopher Nolan may pick a British actor that we have no idea.
And that guy is still, I mean, even though he was the Doctor for a while, he went on to do so many things, and he's like this really popular British actor, overseas actor, you know?
Yeah.
And he even married the, I believe, I'm trying to remember what Doctor it was. He married the 80s Doctor's daughter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
wow.
he's really,
A little bit, exciting.
It's pretty cool, but I think
He's
he would
right
make
in
a
there.
pretty good Batman. I
What
can't
about-
remember his name. I don't know if it's pronounced Tennant or something, but
Yeah.
he's really a fantastic actor. And I've never heard his English, like American accent,
Oh,
but
I'm you.
Christian
Yeah,
Bale,
me.
the first time I heard him, I didn't know
I didn't know.
he was British
I
either.
know everyone's British on
It was
that.
like, wow.
Even I was gonna say Professor Gordon.
Professor Gordon is British.
Professor
Hello.
Awesome.
Hello, I am Professor Gordon.
Yeah.
I am later
Yeah,
going to
so-
be. I have horrible British accent, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. There's
I guess we'll
Professor,
sum it up.
Professor Gordon, Professor Lieutenant Gordon.
Yeah.
He's Chief O'Hara. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I
I would
don't-
love Christian Bale. I wish it was Christian Bale. I know there was too many things that happened.
But you have to pass the torch. I mean,
Yeah.
The only problem I've had with the past torching was with the Arkham Origins thing, and
Yeah,
Roger
yeah.
Craig Smith has done a great job. I have to admit it. He's done well.
It took you a while for it to settle.
It took me a while for
The
me
dust
to
to
settle.
settle of the
but
explosion of your mind.
I'm still going after them about the continuity
But
stuff.
they have
but
changed.
They,
They've changed their
they
story
did.
a
They
little
did
bit.
change their
It
story
was
with the
because of
continuity.
them listening to you, I
It
think.
probably no. I
Who knows?
doubt it.
I don't
doubt.
know.
Well, I was
But
a
they-
pretty outspoken journalist about that.
Yeah.
But if you go to their Arkham Origins website, it now says several years before
instead
Arkham
of
Asylum.
5.
It doesn't say 5 anymore.
So who knows?
It doesn't even say 7.
But yeah, I wish it was Christian Bale or Kevin Conroy in live action.
Yeah. No, they get an actor and then
Yeah.
Kevin does the voice.
Yeah, they get an awesome martial arts actor, and then in the suit, and then Kevin Conroy just does the awesome voice.
He does the dub. I am vengeance. I am the knight.
The whole Darth Vader thing.
Batman.
Yeah, exactly. He just voiceovers the entire thing.
Kevin Conroy narrates Batman.
Exactly.
But yeah,
So-
I mean, Superman fans, I hope you guys are all excited about the new movie. Amber and I are. We're speculating about how it's gonna go. The closer and closer we get to this, the more I'm gonna be talking about this, because this is like something that I never thought I would live to see. I really didn't.
I still don't believe it.
I still don't believe
gonna
it,
have to
but
pinch myself.
Avengers has some serious competition, and it's not even the entire Justice League that they're
Yeah.
going up against. They're going up
They're
against a
shaking in
guy
their boots.
in a bat suit and a alien from another planet
Yeah.
is taking on the entire Avengers.
Yeah.
And
Batman
that,
and
folks,
Superman combined could take on all of them.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, gamers, that concludes. Ow! I got hit again.
Sorry.
That concludes another Injustice versus. In the comments section below, I know how to do my job, woman. Get in the kitchen
Okay.
and make me a sandwich, even though there's no
There's
kitchen
no kitchen.
here at the hotel.
Alright, do it.
Oh. In the comments section below,
do you
tell
think?
us who you want to be Batman.
Yes.
Like, what actor would you really like
Who
to
would
see?
you choose?
We've told you our tops. We want to know yours. So light up that comment section. Also, don't forget to bat stare the like button. And if that doesn't work, just throw a batarang at it, because it really does help us out a lot. We really appreciate how much you guys love our weekly Injustice series. It's so much fun for us to do, and even though we're complete noobs at this game, we just have a blast playing it. It's so much fun, and if you haven't bought the game already, do so. And we'll see you next week with another Injustice Versus. Till then, God bless, happy gaming, and we're leaving you from New York City. Bye-bye.
See ya.